What are you wanting to see, mister?
Dude, Balin. I'm all about it. Here's the thing too. And then this is also going to come back to with I think more of animation. This is a great time to give us a Tales of for Balin. Great time to tell his early stories. And I mean, there's a supposed like prediction that the new Tales of is supposed to be Tales of Skywalker and like how he built his Jedi temple. Don't get me wrong. I'm always and will be a Skywalker fan at heart. But it's like there's more stories out there. Like the Skywalker saga, that story has been told.
Meddler's Corner! Yeah, tune in, let's go! Dropping into a galaxy far away, talking cosplayers and the roles they play. From the actors to the prop makers' art, every single fan plays a vital part. We hit the movies and the latest shows, the biggest fan cast everybody knows. Step into the corner, let the force ignite. Meddler's Corner, bringing Star Wars to life. We hit the movies and the latest shows, the biggest fan cast everybody knows. Step into the corner, let the force ignite. Meddler's Corner, bringing Star Wars to life.
Hello, Meddlers, and welcome back to another episode of Meddler's Corner. I'm your host, Donnie Meddler, and I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Durham. He's going to be joining me here weekly now. He's going to be giving us more Star Wars content. We're going to be updating y'all with more Star Wars news and getting into the deeper dives of lore and everything that you could probably ever think of when it comes to Star Wars. So thanks for joining me, Matt. How are you doing today?
Pretty chill. Thank you for having me. Thank you for bringing me on. It's kind of exciting that you're wanting to kind of build up now. It seems just like yesterday you had your first interview or we had our little YouTube thing. So this is exciting. I'm happy to be here.
I couldn't think of anyone else other than to ask. It was definitely you.
I was going to say, out of all our friends, it feels like I'm probably the most qualified in Star Wars. Maybe not in D&D or any of the other geek stuff, but Star Wars, I think
Star Wars is our jam, dude. We
Yeah.
fit right in.
There's like one other person that I think outdoes both of us, but I don't know, putting him on camera is a good idea. Won't mention names, but we know.
Dude, so how was your week, man? It was crazy with work, man. We're running ragged.
I mean, we weren't. So for everyone that's listening, both of us do electrician work, and we're both in very different spots as far as where we work. I work somewhere government related. Are you still doing the bank?
Yeah, we're still doing
Commercial.
that. We're actually doing two banks and a vet clinic.
So he's doing commercial. I'm doing industrial government work. So my week was one of the weeks where it was really like you do 2 hours of work, a total of 10 hours to take it. It is what it is. So it was a chill week this week, thankfully. And everything that I thought I had to do after work was actually this week, not last week. So I was like, all right, so stay pretty chill. What about you, man? I know it's.
Oh, dude, we're going here and there, everywhere. Like I can't even keep up. So we got 3 commercial jobs going right now. We have a smaller bank, and then we have like a credit union, which is like a bank plus like a insurance little thing where they're going to do all sorts of stuff. And then we have a vet clinic. So over there for all the listeners and viewers, we live in Amarillo, in the Amarillo area of Texas. So you know where that vet clinic was right there off of I-27 as you're going north into downtown?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's right off of Georgia. Yeah, so they're moving over like kind of down the way from Jibo's, and this place is gigantic. It is a massive clinic. So we're just rocking and rolling, man. All sorts of underground that you could possibly ever think of.
It can't be any more than the data centers.
That's true. They are. But you know what? They are making bank out there, though. Well, dude, let's just go ahead and hop on into Star Wars news. So we got some great stuff happening in the world of Star Wars. There was the Mandalorian and Grogu premiere. We got some news about Ahsoka and season 2 and where they're at with that. Yeah. And a new comic series that's going to be coming out, which I think is going to actually be really cool.
I hadn't heard about that one.
I'm a pretty avid comic collector, and
you're the comic person. If it has the characters I cosplay as, I'll buy them. But otherwise,
yeah.
So you're the comic guy.
And I think honestly, when we talk about it, I think you might be into it too. It's actually very interesting. So let's talk about the comic. Let's do that one first.
What's coming out?
So this is the fall of Kylo Ren. That's why I wore this shirt today. So Marvel and Lucasfilm, let me pull this up, have announced. I'm actually kind of digging it. It's like a 5-part series. So it says Marvel and Lucasfilm has officially announced Star Wars: The Fall of Kylo Ren, a brand new 5-part comic series arriving this August. And the story takes place between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, exploring Kylo's brutal rise as Supreme Leader and the chaos inside the First Order after Snoke's death.
Okay, so we're keeping the canon between the sequels.
Mm.
Okay. Huh.
And I mean, as far as villains go, that trilogy, did it really hit with me? No. But Kylo Ren's character, I thought it was cool, decent. Was there some of it that I'm like, maybe?
Right, with all.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's with any series. Everyone's going to
Yeah.
have their critiques. But I thoroughly liked Kylo Ren. His helmet was really cool,
His
and his
helmet was
lightsaber
an iconic,
really
and his
cool.
lightsaber is iconic. Yeah,
Mhm.
it will live.
Like, live on for Star Wars. Like, years from now, when my kid gets older and he's watching it, I guarantee you, and when he's older, he'll know Kylo Ren.
You'll know the Kylo Ren helmet.
So I'm interested to see where they're going to go with this 5-part series. So apparently it's like it was between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, and him being, supreme leader now that Snoke is gone. So
Taking on
interesting to see what they're gonna do. It's a 5-part miniseries, so I mean it's only 5 comics. I'll easily buy those 5 comics, especially the variant covers. Man, are you kidding me? They're gonna be cool.
I do remember you were one of the people that wanted. I think. Yeah, it was you. You got the person at one of the cons to do a sketch, something. What was it? You got him to do a sketch of one of your covers you wanted, or what was it? Was it you?
I just had him sketch on a blank cover. So it's just an artist that I follow. I just had him do a sketch on a blank cover.
Okay.
His name's Tyler Kirkham. Tyler Kirkham does a lot with Marvel and other comics.
We kept doing a circle, or like every day we'd circle around and be like, "We done?"
Yeah.
Hey.
But yeah, he did a cover for me for it was a Batman cover,
Okay.
and it was really cool. It was like he does a lot of like battle damaged covers, and he does a lot through like the Whatnot. Dude, it was such a cool cover. But yeah, if they come out with multiple variant covers, I know they got to get one with like his helmet, and hopefully like they eventually do one with like maybe his shattered helmet. Oh, I think that would be cool.
Like more into how, because what it opens up with The Last Jedi. No. The Rise of Skywalker opens up with him building his new helmet.
Think it's been a long time since I've seen that, man.
I unfortunately have not rewatched them too many times.
Yeah, I do know throughout most of that movie though he went without the helmet.
Okay, so maybe it's The Last Jedi. Anyways,
yeah,
it would be cool to see that process more so than what they just showed on the movies, or why he decided to even rebuild it, or the struggle mentally of keeping that helmet or rebuilding the helmet after.
Well, supposedly they're going to go through too, like, him and the more in depth of the Knights of Ren, which is what I'm looking forward to.
Yes,
I think we have to know more about them.
Yes,
they didn't get enough screen time.
No, they didn't. And what I learned from Teresa about the Ren cult, apparently, and Kylo Ren was the person that founded it, so any leader of the cult got Ren at the end of their name. So like I believe that's what she said, or if I'm recalling correctly. And I thought, and it's been in a couple comics, because I guess there's another character that just came out and she's got red hair or something. And
cool.
We were looking at it. She's like, "I'm doing that." I'm like, "Okay, you go, girl." But she was
build it. See what happens.
Yeah. So she was talking about the Knights of Ren. I was like, I really don't. I thought they were just pupils that he gathered from the temple. She's like, no. There's a whole backstory and a whole cult and everything. So I would love to see that explained more and learn who those people are too. I'd like to know who they are. That'd be really cool. Or how, if you did actually just, y'all are who followed me, so you're coming with me. Or if it was, you got this, you did that. Yeah, I'd like to see that. That'd be cool. And good reference material too, because the only Knights of Ren that we have are the on-screen ones, or those guys, and I guess a couple of the comics. This will give us more, hopefully, of
who they are, maybe.
who they are, how they got their stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
So man, we got to talk about Ahsoka, dude, because I am all sorts of hyped. But it got delayed to
I
an
know.
early.
As soon as I saw the delay, I was like, I just took my phone, like, all right, when's it coming?
Yeah.
When's it
Early
gonna start?
2027 is the supposed or the proposed release date now.
Well, here's what I bet, you know what they're gonna probably do?
What?
Maybe is that first episode is gonna premiere at Celebration.
Oh, you think so, huh?
I bet there'll be a whole panel because
Dude, I'll stand in line for that one.
I bet it's gonna be because I could have sworn in Anaheim, was it Acolyte or like the trailer for Acolyte or the trailer for something? One of our other friends was able to go to it, but I don't remember what it was. But they showed a premiere at Celebration for the first time, and I do remember them standing in line, or they won it off a raffle or something, like
Oh wow.
lucky. And at that point, I was like, I'll just watch it on YouTube
Yep.
afterwards.
Everyone's gonna post it.
Yeah, I'll see it somewhere or another. So that's what I bet. But I
Mhm.
knew as soon as they delayed it, I was like, oh, well, all right, they'll just hype
And-
it up a little bit more.
Well, also too, it's like we're coming off the high of Maul, and everyone is all about Maul right now. So it's
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure the team is like, hey, let's let this train ride,
Yeah.
you know, which
Yeah,
is
like,
definitely a total market grab, and I agree. Let it go and let him get his time in the sun.
let it get
But
his on and all
I
the
think
other
when
other
Ahsoka
stuff.
comes out, I'm hoping it's another, you know, I enjoyed the Ahsoka series, but I'm hoping for just more in depth, more of who these characters are.
Yeah.
You know, we were introduced to Shin, we were introduced to Balin's skull, we were introduced to, you know, this great world, and you know, I want to know more about, you know, what is Balin after? You know, who is Shin? You know, how did Balin get an apprentice, you know, from what his time was after Order 66? And I'm just, dude, I'm so hyped about it. And
I
will,
hope that
I will definitely say I'm one of the biggest Balin Skull fans, and I will argue
No.
with anyone who
You
says
know,
otherwise.
I mean,
Man,
I hope they keep.
such a cool character.
I'm hoping, you know, they saw what they did with Maul. I hope they take that, the criticism or you know, any the not criticism, but you know, they see what they did and how the fans reacted to that, and kind of maybe that's why it's being delayed. Maybe they're like, okay, look what we did with Maul and how successful that was received.
Uh-huh.
Let's maybe tweak a little bit before we maybe that's why, because the storytelling in Maul was generally some of the best we've seen since.
Well,
I don't know, like
I don't, and I get kind of nervous when we get such an epic show from Star Wars, an epic show from Lucasfilm, and then some people have that expectation of, okay, this is what it's going to be like from here on out, and that's just not the case.
That's never.
And
Yeah,
it's and if you're expecting that, like, you're just going to be let down, because
that's true.
not
That
not all these shows are, you know, they're going to be made for everyone. They're not going to be catered for everyone.
sure they don't
If
have the
you-
same like.
But if you go
parameters that they work
right, but if you just go into it expecting, hey, I'm getting a cool Star Wars show,
with. Mhm.
we're in a world, we're in a galaxy far, far away, then I mean, you're going to come out of it with a great time, and you're going to get a good feeling when it's all said and done.
Which is
But-
what I think they did with Maul. So
Mhm.
I doubt they rushed Ahsoka too. Maybe though they're just like, okay, a little tweak here and there to finalize it. And then again, what you said, they're giving some time for it to marinate with the groups and let some of these other things that they got releasing to kind of be the runners of 2026. So I agree though. It was a good show. Don't expect it all to be like that just because you liked it like that, because they're going to release something else and you're going to be, yeah, I agree.
And so there is this topic though, because I mean, amongst the fans, they think that Ahsoka should have been animated, and so I wanted to discuss that a little bit. I said last time in our review that I love live action. I thoroughly enjoy going to the movies and seeing a live action Star Wars. With what Maul did, it was absolutely incredible. Could Star Wars be making a switch to animation? I don't know. We
Now
got to.
force it.
I know it's like we got a really great story. We got some really cool scenes with Maul, but I don't know if Star Wars or Lucasfilm is going to completely make that switch to animation, because there are those old fans, the old diehard fans out there. We got us. I'm not going to call us old, but we are.
Well, we're different eras. We're
different era. And
Yeah.
so it's like, when I think of Star Wars, I think of going to the theater, getting some popcorn, getting a Coke, and watching it on the big screen. That's my take of Star Wars, because that's what I grew up with,
Yeah.
In the later 90s, where we got Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and then Revenge of the Sith. That was what I grew up with. And, of course, in the earlier 90s, we got the remastered OG series. And I remember my mom taking me to go see those, and I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed those. And I thought it was absolutely cool.
Yeah, even with all the extra stuff.
I think for me, on a personal take, I want to continue to see Star Wars live action. I'm all about seeing animation. I think that's incredible. I'll definitely watch, but I'd still, for me, in the nostalgia of it all, I was like, man, we got to continue seeing live action.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think inevitably, the more technology evolves, the better the animation will become.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just inevitably going to happen like that. Like, we are going to still get animated Star Wars. I don't think you can, even at this point, I don't think going back off of it is a good idea. But I'm also in your same boat, a prequel baby, where the first one I saw was a Phantom Menace. That was one of those first full-scale CGIs, army against army, just incredible backdrops. And of course, OT did as well, but this one it just felt, so immersive. And the amount of time that the CGI and the animators do is also, what they did in OT with paintings and the on-set building is just as qualified as remarkable as what the CGI people did. So not dogging that. But again, it's like that inevitability of like, we're going to keep getting better at the CGI, the green screening. So that's still going to push the envelope as far as what we're going to get.
As far as like the lightsaber battles go, because like in my previous sit down with Brad, that series was the first time that Ewan McGregor held a lit up lightsaber. So they're doing all these effects with lighting, and lighting is even taking more and more and more leaps as we continue on. And even sound, like, we got epic sound from David Collins on Maul. What incredible work he did. Oh my gosh. And just the thought behind just some of the little things, like, to me, I think it's so cool. For someone else, like, maybe that's like, okay, I think it's awesome. Like, when you picture a lightsaber sound, but then when you have the lightsaber sound, and then when it moves and like you're in an epic battle, but then you want to add Sam Witwer's scream on top of that. Oh, dude. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. And so with Ahsoka, I'm totally excited that they're going to continue this live action.
I'm happy that it's going to be live action too. I think it should be.
Do we have any predictions? What we're thinking is going to go on with Ahsoka? What do you want to see?
What I want to see is Ahsoka character to me is I'm not in love with her like a lot of the fan base is, which is fine. My leading lady is Padme. She always will be. I think I know people put her in the same, like, it's Leia, Padme, Ahsoka. I don't know if I'd put her in the same boat as other people like to, but that's fun. But I do like the development of her in this gray Jedi journey that she's doing. I do appreciate that, because that is another lore part of Star Wars that we don't see a lot of, the middle between. Right. So I do like that. Prediction wise, though, I honestly don't care so much about Ahsoka stuff.
Yeah.
I know the show's called Ahsoka.
So it's gonna be like, this guy.
I know it's Ahsoka, and it's gonna be about her. The characters that they're bringing in, I want to know more about them. I want to know more about Balin. I want to, like you were saying, I want to know where Shin Hati came in from. I'd love to dive into more of the Night Sisters. And are they coming back? Where are they at now? Is Thrawn coming back? What happened to that guy? I I would like some development of that. I think they're definitely gonna dive into Balin. I definitely think they're going
Hope
to.
so.
I think his plot line has to continue. I don't
Yeah.
think taking anything away from what has happened in season 1 would be a good
Well,
idea.
they're already saying too, like Filoni even said at the last celebration, like there's going to be an epic Star Wars battle of
Yeah.
all time that
Like,
we're
there
going to
has
see in this series, and
there
it's
has to,
Thrawn
like,
leading the charge.
with Thrawn.
Thrawn leading the charge. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I would have predicted. Like the development of Thrawn and Balin and even Shinati. I would like that story. I think they'll explain, what he's looking for, explain the orb, the map that he has, explain, where he got it, how he found it, where it actually points to, what he's really looking for in the universe. Is he looking
Yep.
towards the great evil that's outside? What's her name? Azeroth, or her name? The great evil.
Is it
Yeah,
Aboleth?
I forget
Isn't
what
it Aboleth?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I forgot. It started with an A. AE
Mm.
something. But yeah, Ahsoka could be on the back burner. I want these protagonists to kind of get a story, and of course Ahsoka's going to be involved, and I know it's a Ahsoka series.
Yep.
But some of these classics that Thrawn, I'm sure every Thrawn enthusiast, because he is one of the greatest, with the greatest tacticians of the Empire.
Well, he said like he was said like instead of building the Death Star, build all these Star Destroyers. Just build an entire armada of Star Destroyers.
And look, wow.
And I mean, if they would have done that, the Empire would have been dominating.
More so, I think, definitely more so of an Iron Fist than just with the Death Star, for sure. For sure. So that's my predictions. What are you wanting to see, Mister?
Dude, Balin. I'm all about it. Here's the thing too. And then this is also going to come back to with I think more of animation. This is a great time to give us a Tales of for Balin. Great time to tell his early stories. And I mean, there's a supposed like prediction that the new Tales of is supposed to be Tales of Skywalker and like how he built his Jedi temple. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm always and will be a Skywalker fan at heart. But it's like there's more stories out there. Like the Skywalker saga, that story has been told. And it has been told a lot. And there are other, like what we're talking about, there are other characters in this universe that we want to know more about, like the Inquisitors. Like I loved the Tales of the Empire, getting to know more about the Inquisitors. We got some really cool looking Inquisitors, and I thought that was a great one. The Tales of the Sith, where I'm pretty sure, was it Tales of the Sith, where we
Tales
finally
of the Empire, Tales of Jedi, Tales of...
But the one that we finally learned about Count Dooku and his early
That's
story.
Tales of the Jedi.
Okay, yeah. So Tales of the Jedi, with him. I thought that was awesome. I was like, yeah, that's a story I want to know. So you have a perfect opportunity here to tell a great story about someone who we just saw on the screen that we got nothing about. And great job, because that was the first time where I was drawn to a character and I knew absolutely nothing. When he hit the screen and he said, "We are no Jedi," and killed the crew, went all ham on everyone, and he got a hallway scene as a new character. Heck yeah. So I want to know, how did he survive? I've said this multiple times. I want to know how he survived Order 66. What caused him to leave the Order ways, to set aside the Jedi and take his own path, because he's not a Sith, he's not a Jedi, he is taking his own path. So I want to really honestly I want to see some more Mortis in Ahsoka. I want him, because he said he's after a new beginning. So I hope he finds Mortis, and I want that epic battle of Anakin and Balin, man. I want that lightsaber battle. Oh, I think it's gonna be cool.
Do you think it's going to happen on Mortis, or do you think, like,
maybe in the world between worlds? I don't know.
Because
I mean, you got Ahsoka and Sabine. They're stuck on this planet that's completely in a totally different galaxy. So right now they can't get back home. So my thinking is are they going to be able to travel within the world between worlds? My only caveat to all that is now we're starting to get into Stargate, and Stargate is Stargate. I want Star Wars to be Star Wars.
Okay.
I don't know how we're going to get them back, to that galaxy where they're from, it'll be interesting. And if it is between worlds, cool. But I don't want it to turn into now, okay, that's our new travel system. And so now that sets a precedent for all the other Star Wars movies and all the other Star Wars series that are going to come out, where now that's our travel. And I just then we're hitting into a whole different
Whole
TV
different
show of
ballgame.
Stargate. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I don't know. What could it be cool? Potentially, but I want Star Wars to be Star Wars, and
Maybe it'll bring in like another one of those. There's another animal or something out there that they find that
maybe,
can do that. I don't know, like what they
yeah,
do with the
the
hyperspace
whales.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I will say this on
they
your
all
comment
left. You
for
said what?
Bail. I will say this. I do think an epic showdown because he knows of Anakin, so an interaction between the two. I do agree. I would like to see that. I will say I don't want them to take away anything from Anakin still being the chosen one.
And yeah, agreed.
I will
Because
say that.
yes, I think Anakin, he should be, and I hope that he's being portrayed as the father. That's what I would hope that they're doing this, that he's the guy
Yeah.
in the Mortis God. He's the top. I don't know. Would it be cool maybe if it was like, no, it couldn't be because Ahsoka is set before the First Order and all that. So it wouldn't be able to be Luke and Leia because they're still doing their own thing.
I'll just say that. I would rather, keep Anakin as important as he has been portrayed and lived up to. But yeah, an interaction though, I think we're due for one, whether it be in the series or what you were saying, another spin-off of Tales of the Blankety Blank.
Yeah. But
So
I think it would be a great time to, there's your Tales of right there.
yeah.
You can do another character, but you already have one right there, Balin. And so there's your lead in. But yeah, seeing an epic battle between him and Anakin as he's trying to find Mortis and, create his new beginning and set and basically erase the Jedi, erase the Sith, and build his version of what it should be. Dude, I think that'd be totally epic. So I don't know what
or his attempt to, at least, because
or his attempt. Yep.
inevitably we know, or at least we don't think it survives, but maybe it's it happening in the background of the sequels. But it'd be an interesting story if they take that route. I will say that.
So world premiere, the Mandalorian and Grogu. They had their world premiere this week, and all the A-listers came out. You had Pedro, you had Sigourney Weaver, man, and they're all out there. And then there was like, dude, what they did for little Grogu, like he had his own little area and he was like waving at the fans and stuff. I was like, dude, that's awesome. And then they brought the little box droids that had the two legs from like Fallen Order.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
they were putting those out in Galaxy's Edge too. Now they just walk around,
dude. And if I ever get into droid builders, I would want to build that one. But that's like the technology behind that. I don't even know if I can. Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of people in West Texas that definitely know how to do that. They will definitely, they definitely know how. I know. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm excited for it on Saturday. That's when we're gonna go.
That's when we're gonna go see it. I'm so hyped, man.
It should
So
be,
expectations. I think we gotta at least talk about expectations, and because again, we talked about it with Ahsoka going into Ahsoka. We got this really awesome show with Maul, and I think my expectation going into this, I'm expecting Mandalorian and Grogu. It's in the title. I'm not expecting it to be anything better than Maul, because if I'm expecting that, I think I'm just going to let myself down.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be, you have Maul in its category. Then you have Mandalorian and Grogu in their category. They're two completely different films, two completely different eras.
Yes.
So I'm just expecting a fun ride, all the scenes, all the action that's going to take place, the color. Man, I'm so excited for it. And I think it's the same thing like with Solo. I enjoyed Solo. Not a lot of people in the Star Wars fan base enjoyed Solo.
I haven't rewatched it a lot, but I wouldn't say, God, put that in the dumpster fire.
No.
I wouldn't say that.
And so I'm expecting a movie like that. It's a fun ride.
I was gonna say it's in that category where they made so much success of reaching a bunch of audiences on Disney Plus,
Yep.
not just, we made that tier when we were doing mall, like 8 and above is the lore keepers, the cosplayers, the dive deepers. And then, 4 through 5 is they've seen the movies and they kept up with it. And then everyone else is, the general public. This one was, I forgot who I was talking about it with, but this one was successful in bringing the 8s and like the 2s, that bringing the entire spectrum together. So I don't expect it to be, I expect it to be a pretty good movie where you're going to get the lore satisfaction and you're going to, it's going to be a good movie, I think.
Yeah.
It's generally going to be a good movie and people are going to want to watch it maybe more than once, or, especially when it comes out on the platforms, it's going to be one of those ones that people watch more than once,
again and again. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But
So-
yeah, it's Sigourney Weaver. Just shout out to Miss Sigourney Weaver. I'm so happy that you're in this. You're in this. As queen, to me, she's queen of sci-fi. Like I can't think of anyone else that comes to mind immediately than her for anything sci-fi. And I'm sure someone will rattle the name off, but to me, she is like, I'm so happy she's in it. And I don't care if her character is, it feels like she's going to be an important character or she in the movie from the previews, at least. Of course, previews are, you take with a grain of salt, but I'm glad she's back in the she's in our universe now.
Dude, make a prediction. Is she good or is she evil?
Well,
Is she playing both sides?
I think she's going to stay rebel, or I think they're going to make her rebel.
Okay.
I also think, maybe off branch here, she's a both sider of we need this done. I don't care what means you do it by, but do it. Maybe she's that character where it's like, okay, I wouldn't necessarily think that's a good idea, but it got the job done.
Yeah.
I think maybe she's that. Maybe. But otherwise, no, I think she's a good guy. She's gonna be a rebel general or a rebel sympathizer, however you want to call it. That's what I think she'll be, at least. She seems like it. What are your predictions?
My prediction for this is, so in the trailer, we saw Din giving this heartfelt speech to Grogu. I don't know if he's walking it out at the end of this movie.
I didn't think that.
And I think
this
may be the end of Din's chapter. I don't know.
Gave me chills.
I'm thinking it could be. There's a high probability. I could be totally wrong, but I think what a great time now for Grogu to, grow as his character and take on the reins of Jedi, bounty hunter, and whatever he has, and continue on with his story. Now, I could be totally wrong, and Mandalorian comes back in an epic way. But I think with what we saw with the previews, I think we got a good majority of what's going to happen in the beginning, but not what's going to happen towards, middle and end. But yeah, with that speech alone right there, then you have the Force theme playing in the background, and then you just get these like the epic montage of more music that's just getting you hyped. That's my lead. Is just I don't know if Din's going to walk out of this movie at the end.
An end to the Mandalorian. Either he walks out and he's just like, all right, I'm done.
Gives up the creed.
Lives on it by himself. He Thanos snaps and then he heads to retirement. Like he does that, and then, which maybe I bet it's gonna be something like that where it's gonna be like, all right, everyone goes off on their own. That's the end. Thank you for being a part of it. And then down the line, when it's never going to stop. So they're going to make something else. And then he pops up again. I bet that maybe they're going to save him for like, all right, cameo. Now you're a cameo. After this movie, you will now just be the cameo in this series for an episode, or your arc of a 2-episode arc in this series. And then you're back gone by again. Maybe they're going to do that. Or maybe he does just not come out of it alive.
Cry.
It'll be a lot. I bet, it'll be heart-wrenching. I'm sure it'll a lot.
Because then you got baby Grogu. Like that's his boy. That's his son. Yeah. Man, especially me being a dad. God. I'm going to be a mess, dude.
Not sitting next to you. But yeah, that's that. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. This being, they're done. They're done for a while. Probably be a good idea. That 3 How many seasons of The Mandalorian do we have?
Three. We got 3 seasons.
3 seasons, now a movie. It might,
All right.
maybe, yeah, there might be time. We'll see.
But
I'm
at the
excited
same
about
time, too, it's like we don't know for sure, what's up with Bo-Katan. Maybe
it.
the
And
armor's in this movie, so we still don't know all about their stories. So that's where I'm like hesitant. It's like, well, maybe Din does walk out of this movie because we want to know more about those characters, and what better way than to put them in the Mandalorian
yeah,
another season.
yeah.
So you're talking about like maybe Din eventually becoming the cameo. What character or characters do you want to see pop up in this movie for
Well,
that one
that
little boop?
that haven't been spoiled because we know there's Rebels characters coming back. From my history I don't think they've been on the. Have we seen R2 or C3PO in any of the I don't remember
Mm-mm.
seeing. I mind seeing maybe an R2 or an OG droid,
Okay, I
maybe
like
just
it.
popping
I
up,
like
or
it.
they're on one of the bases of
Yeah.
the Rebel of I forget which one, but
Uh-huh. I think for me, we're leading up to Ahsoka, and we're about to have this big epic brawl of Thrawn. Maybe does Thrawn hop up at the end, Thanos style? I'll do it myself. I don't
I mean,
know.
I know a lot of people still want to see Thrawn, so you
Hmm.
know,
I mean,
that
that'd
would
be a cool way to end it. Either Sigourney Weaver or I don't know, Din calling in for a cavalry unit, going, "Hey, we need help. Thrawn's here," and then roll credits.
or his giant or his I forget what is it? It's not the Chimera, is it? What is his ship called? Do you remember?
Oh,
Shows
yeah.
up, his hyperspace circle.
You're talking about Thrawn's Star
Yeah,
Destroyer?
again.
Dude, I don't.
I should know it. I'm sorry. I should. Yeah. His is right. I think it's Chimera. Whatever. Be cool though. Yeah, that's either maybe it's not even at the end. I would like to see that
Oh, he just comes out of
coming
hyperspace?
out of hyperspace as the
Yeah.
Star Destroyer with his giant hyperspace ring just in
Yeah.
orbit. Those are cool scenes to me.
Ooh.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I like those dramatic yet simple entrances that these villains do. At least the non-Vader villains. Let me put it that way. Vader
Uh,
needs to have a show, but just and everyone is just like,
crap.
damn, yeah, worse word than damn.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
All right.
nice.
All right, meddlers. It's the time you've all been waiting for. It's our special guest, none other than Ross Sambridge. I hope you enjoy. Tune in next week where we talk about everything Wookiees. But today I have the pleasure to talk to Supreme Leader Snoke himself, Ross Sambridge. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Yes, thank you, Donnie. It's lovely to be on this show. Thank you for inviting me on.
And I want to get to know you a little bit more. Tell us a little bit about your Star Wars story. What got you into acting and then eventually on a Lucasfilm set where you're a Star Wars character?
Well, I think it's, starting off from watching the films as a 10-year-old, seeing the big ship go past your head in New Hope, and seeing all the stormtroopers and then Darth Vader coming out, and it enthralled me. It inspired me. I was like, wow, well, this is not just any old film. It's something spectacular. And then seeing Chewbacca for the first time, I was like, wow, what a fantastic character that is. And it's something that definitely. I mean, I had all the toys, played with all the play sets and everything else. And then, I say, nigh on 30 odd years later, doing it for real. So that was great. How I got into Star Wars is I've done other TV and film productions in the years prior, and there was an agency looking for tall people, so I joined up. So I'm very tall. I'm over 7 foot, so I'm over 7 foot, and so therefore I got a lot of creatures and monsters and things. But I was lucky enough to go for a fitting for a film. Well, the working title was for a space bear, which turned out to be The Last Jedi, and then that was for the character of Snoke, working alongside the great Andy Serkis, who provided the voice and motion capture, but I was the physical body that you see on screen. So I feel like I've jumped ahead. I do apologise, but it's just
No,
it's
fine.
yeah. So as I say, working on such a massive set and sitting in that throne for the first time, I was like, wow, I'm on Star Wars. This is, am I dreaming? Don't want to. It's a pinch me moment, but then I don't want to
Yeah.
wake up from it either. So, no, it was very, very good working with Andy and with Donald Gleason and Daisy Ridley, and of course Adam Driver as well. Yeah, a wonderful time.
So I have to ask, when you were first on set and you're now being a body double as Snoke, were you given any inside knowledge as to who really Snoke was? Because for the longest time, all the fans were really trying to figure him out. Were you ever given any inside knowledge as to who he really was?
Well, I think at the time, I think that it was still in development, but to be honest, from an outsider's point of view, it was fairly obvious. I'm sorry. I know that sounds a bit like a bit weird saying that, but who else sits in a throne? Who has red guards and there is electric coming out their fingers? It was quite obvious that he had some connection to Palpatine and everything else.
Mhm.
But so I didn't want to obviously say anything, I just kind of got on with the job in hand and made that with Andy, made that character become believable, become fearsome, but also quite intriguing at the same time. And wearing the gold robes was something else, because the rest of the background was like all reds and dark greys and blacks. So the gold really resonates and really shows up on screen, and it's what the audience really looks at, because it's so sort of like spectacular and different to the rest of the colours, the colour palette that's on the screen. So in a way, the robes became a character in themselves.
So now we have Solo, and you're playing a Wookiee.
Yes.
What was that like? I love Wookiees. Chewbacca is one of my
Excellent.
all-time favorite characters.
Same here.
What was it like playing a Wookiee for
Well,
Solo?
it was a literal dream come true. I actually got to become a Wookiee before Solo. I was
Okay.
was actually asked to portray Chewbacca at a Comic-Con in England,
Nice.
in the southwest of England, in Bristol, and it was like a Heroes and Villains event back in 2007. Peter Mayhew, the late great Peter Mayhew, was there with Jeremy Bullock and Kenny Baker, and I was dressed in the costume that they had for me, and Peter actually took me to one side, and he showed me how to walk like a Wookiee, hold the bowcaster, and how to roar. So I was having a masterclass for the man himself. And I thought, well, if that's his closest to being a Wookiee, then I'll still die a happy man. But then, nearly 10 years later, I'm running around with the Spice Mines of Castle doing it for real. And to have that tuition from the man himself in my head still, I just hope that I did the Wookiees proud, did the performance well enough to make it believable to kids and adults alike. And I'm glad you like Wookiees too, because the Wookiees are they're fantastic. Everybody loves to hug a Wookiee.
Yeah, I know. One of my favorite memories as a child, and it was my first time going to Disney World, and I was 6, and we went for Christmas. And I remember walking around the Star Cruiser, because that was the Star Wars ride at the time before Galaxy's Edge came in. And I remember seeing Chewbacca walk by. And the magic that Disney brings to the parks, 6-year-old me thought that was Chewbacca, and I loved it. I hugged him, I absolutely loved it that he hugged me. It's one of my all-time favorite memories, and I will always love Chewbacca. And my son, he was gifted from one of my really close buddies a Chewbacca stuffed animal, and he just carries that with him everywhere he goes. So we're a Chewbacca household, that's for sure.
Oh, well, if your son watches this recording, then what's your son's name?
My son's name is Ben. He's just one. He's a little guy, little.
Well, this is for Ben when he grows up, or so I'll go. That's a little Wookiee for
That's amazing, man. You've been on the newer trilogy and you've been on a Solo set. Has there been a big Star Wars moment for you where you're just like, wow, I'm on a Star Wars set? Would you mind sharing that with us?
I don't mind sharing. So there are so many, especially for Snoke and also for being a Wookiee. But I think when me and the other two Wookiees, Paul Davis and Matt Tyler, when we first saw the Millennium Falcon, I remember we asked wardrobe to take one of our paws off so we can all just touch the Falcon. And therefore, so I do. Then we just put our paws back on again, and we just sat there and watch all these droids come about and other creatures, and we're going, well, this is actually happening. This is really happening. We're really here, and we've gone through all the rehearsals and everything else, but yeah, I think it only really became real when we're just going, right, this is history in the making because it's set before the events of New Hope. So, wow, yeah, no, so that was one of the highlights from that. What else? I guess on with Snoke, it was, well, I think what it was that so I've got a slight curvature of the spine, and Ryan Johnson was having a discussion about Snoke, and he changed the body shape of Snoke to give him a curvature. So he incorporated that. So I believe that all the illustrations and all the figures that you can buy all contain my curvature, which I like to call, would like to call my curve appeal. I'm sorry, it's a bit of a dad joke, but I mean, anyway. But it's nice though when people do that, because I've had people come up to me at conventions and they've got similar curvatures, and they're saying, oh, I can't get into what I want to do because this curve, it will stop me. And I said, well, it didn't with me. In a way, I did to certain characters. And if there's a character out there that they want you to play that has differences, it might even add to your chances of getting that role. And they look at it that way and they go, do you know, I haven't thought of that. That's brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. It inspires them and makes them more confident as well. And it passes on that to them as well. For me, and it makes me think I'm doing a good job.
So, continuing on with Snoke,
Yeah.
what was it like working with Andy, one of the most iconic voice actors, and Gollum himself?
Yes.
What was it like working side by side with him?
Absolutely brilliant. Andy is such a lovely, lovely, sweet guy. He really is. I learned a lot from him about motion capture and performance. He and I, we kind of had free reign of how Snoke was going to move. He would copy my movements and I would copy his, because he's a hologram in Force Awakens. So they weren't sure how he was going to be interacting with Daisy and Adam and everybody else. So I guess my curve added to it, added to his movement as well. So Andy would emulate that and have that in his performance as well. And so that's how it all kind of blended together. But it was just wonderful to talk to them, well, basically the master of motion capture for today's performance art. And it was just wonderful to everyone on set. So this man here, right, it was absolutely wonderful to work with. It really was. All I can say is that, and I can't thank him enough, really. That's the word. I can't thank him enough because he acknowledges the fact that we both play him, which is great. And I've met up with him a couple of times at later conventions, and also I featured on one of his films as well, Breathe. So I have a small part in that, which is quite nice. So that was nice for him to get me involved on that.
So, man, I gotta ask. So, seeing your figure on the shelves, do you ever just go to the grocery store, and just sign a bunch and then leave them on the shelves?
I haven't done that. I admit that I used to work for Toys R Us. So when any of the figures came in, I was like putting it on the shelf. I was putting myself out on the shelves. So that was kind of a out-of-body experience.
What was that feeling like? What was that feeling like, putting your figure on the shelf?
Yes. So having him out on the, was just, it's a great feeling, being the fact that I'm literally one half of a figure, and you can see the curve there on here. But it was, I can't really describe it really. It's an absolute honour to have your own figure, and to have such a handsome figure as well, I must admit.
Hey.
But it's wonderful. Like, we've had kids and adults buy them, and they're saying that it's a unique character and everything else, and he is a unique character, and it was wonderful to play. I just be nice to see more of him. Who knows?
Did you get to work close with any of the prosthetics, like the makeup artists and anything like that on set?
Not really. I know they kind of took lots of pictures of my face, and I
Mm.
believe they just molded, I guess, my face and Andy's face together to make the Snoke face that you see. I think he does look a little
Okay.
bit different from Force Awakens to The Last
Yeah.
Jedi, because there's a bit more
Uh-huh.
detail. Because again, it's a hologram in Force Awakens. I mean, I've worked on other projects where a lot of eggs and things are used, and that's always it's quite fascinating to see someone who looks like this become a big gargoyle or a big monster type thing. So yeah, that's always cool to see. But
Well, is there
on
in
Snoke, I didn't actually, as I say, there wasn't
Okay.
anything. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Donny.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm just saying that yeah, on with Snoke though, I didn't see any of the series works. I mean, I saw the other bits like the puppets and things, but I didn't see
Okay.
the yeah that side of things.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, is there any big projects or TV or films coming up that you are excited to share with us?
I mean, I've just done I've worked with Holly Humberstone recently on a music video. It's out now, but I got to be a version of Nosferatu, which is quite
Oh,
nice.
wow.
Yeah, and that was makeup and fake nails and everything else, and it was wonderful to work with her. And it's just her and I in the video. It's Holly Humberstone, and the track is called "To Love Somebody." It's on YouTube right now, so yeah, do look into it, and you can see another version of me.
Awesome.
Um,
Awesome. I'm
yeah,
definitely going to check that
well,
out.
thank you very much.
So you've had this incredible story, going from Snoke, being a Wookiee. Man, I have one final question, and I always ask it of my guests. If we were to open your garage,
Mm-hmm.
what vehicle from the Star Wars universe would we find? It could be planet to planet, or it could be streetwise.
It's Planet to Planet, and it might be quite
Okay.
obvious, but I had the opportunity to fly it in Disney and recently, but that was the Millennium Falcon. So the Falcon, all the time being obviously in Wookiee and emulating Chewie and being a pilot in there was incredible. The Falcon definitely, probably, I know this might be controversial, but followed by maybe the AT-AT. I quite like them, those big
I
slow
love
walking.
that.
Yeah. I guess Snoke's Star Destroyer will probably be up there with it as well. I mean, it'd be a pretty
It's
big.
iconic for you.
I mean, it'll be a pretty big garage, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
there might be room for a small speeder in there as well, for the Ewoks to go on. But I don't know. The thing is, there is so many great vehicles out there. It's hard to just choose one. But the Falcon is definitely one that sprang to mind straight away. It's just nice seeing the Falcon all complete and also seeing it not complete. So it's
Yeah.
that's cool. But no, I thoroughly really enjoy working on all films. Star Wars obviously was a dream come true, and the best thing about it is that when you do these conventions or you meet people in the street and the children, they kind of like light up when they see you or they know about you, and you put smiles on people's faces, and that's what it's all about, really. That that you're doing a great thing if you give back, and giving back is just a
Uh-huh.
simple thing like a photograph or an autograph or even just a high five. And a recent convention I was at, I spent quite a long time just literally high fiving the young kids, because they may not want a picture, they may not even know who I am, but if they're with their parents and the parents know who I am, at least they can tell they've high fived a Wookiee. So
Well,
there you go.
well, Ross, what's your next event that you got coming up? Where can the people find you, either at a con or at what other event that you got coming up?
I've got a couple of conventions coming up in the UK. There's possibility of doing
Okay.
one overseas as well. That's still in the works. But the got one for a charity called Maggie's. This is in Montford in Essex, but it's run by Caroline Munro from Bond and horror and the horror franchise. And there'll be lots and lots of people from all walks of film and TV, from horror, from sci-fi, from fantasy. So that's going to be in October. There's a couple before that. So watch this space, really, and then hopefully you'll see me on either my Facebook or Instagram, and then you'll go, I'll come down and see Ross, or I'll come down and see whoever, and then get a from someone. You know, it's cool. I'm very much looking forward to them, and I always do. I always look forward to meeting new people.
So, man, you're over in the K. I just have to ask, who's your soccer team?
Well, I got it. It was when I was growing up. It was West Ham, but not so much anymore. I don't really. I know this is bad, but I don't really watch a lot of. I don't have a team as such. You know, I guess because I live in Southend, I'm gonna have to probably say it's Southend United. But whenever football's on the telly, obviously it's England that I follow and everything else. And English women's team is doing wonderful. They won it twice, I think. So yeah. Who's your favourite? Do you have a favourite?
So I'm a diehard Arsenal fan.
Okay, all right, brilliant. That's cool.
I love early Arsenal. Their passing style is untouched and unmatched. Henry will be one of my favorite soccer players of all time, and just the fluidity on the pitch that they had, and just how they pass. You know, we always, when I was in little kid soccer, you know, little league and everything, you know, we talk about passing. You know, we want to go back and forth. Man, they made it look like an absolute art out there, and I always love watching Arsenal play, and it's always like a passing 101 drill out there on how to pass on a soccer field.
Well, I guess whenever I played football, I was always one half the goal. You know, I was only the goal post, really. No, I'm only joking. God, if I tried to play football,
you and I could get along so well with all the dad jokes, man. I love it.
I know. Where about which part of America are you in then?
Texas.
You're in Texas.
I'm in
oh
Texas.
Well, I mean,
Yes, sir.
you never know. One day we might actually bump into each other and have a proper,
Absolutely.
over a
Yep.
drink or something.
Well, Ross, thank you so much for joining me. And do you want to give us the goodbye in Wookiee?
I guess I could do. Well, for all those kids and adults listening and watching this, I shall say, which is Shuruk with. It was, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, may the Force be with you.
Tune in next time, Meddlers, and let the Force ignite.
Meddler's Corner! Yeah, tune in, let's go! Dropping into a galaxy far away, talking cosplayers and the roles they play. From the actors to the prop makers' art, every single fan plays a vital part. We hit the movies and the latest shows, the biggest fan cast everybody knows. Step into the corner, let the Force ignite. Meddler's Corner, bringing Star Wars to life. We hit the movies and the latest shows, the biggest fan cast everybody knows. Step into the corner, let the Force ignite. Meddler's Corner, bringing Star Wars to life.